Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this is a video about how to make I'm going to call it a peg joint. I've used it for years. There's been a lot of discussion and a lot of people brought up snap joints, and I just made a video on a new snap joint. And it's nice, and there's less pieces. It's harder to draw. This thing is so easy to draw that anybody could do it, and once they have got it drawn, they could use it over and over and over. And it's for joining two pieces of wood. It's not a very good picture, and I apologize for this, but there's a piece of wood going this way and a piece of wood going this way, and then I have these pegs. And the pegs are like little wedges, and they slip in, and this board is really, really tight. I mean, if you were going to, make a flooring type deal with, say, a bridge or a train station, and you needed to make it where it wouldn't move off the floor, this would be your joint, and because these are going to be hidden. And I actually put one peg in from the left and one peg in from the right, and they're tapered wedges and easy to draw. I'm going to share this file on Facebook page, and then you could use it. It's for 1/8" plywood on Epilog's Facebook page, and then you could make this shape anything you wanted down here to make your bridge support, and use these two cutouts. So what these two pieces go into these two pieces, and the peg is drawn, and I just drew the peg and just easily drew it. And I'm going to show you how to draw one of these real quick. I measured the thickness. So what happens, this butts up against here, and there's nothing visible on the top side. It's all on the bottom side. So, all you have to do is figure out the thickness of your wood, your 1/8" plywood, and do some testing to get the distance between here to here to here to here to match and be relatively tight. So you need this distance and this distance. And then this distance is your thickness of your wood. Let's just see what we've got here. I made it a little tight. Let's break this apart. Well, let's see if I can't just select on that one. Yep, I got them grouped together. I've got them at, instead of 1/8", they're a little bit less than an 1/8". They're 1.115 or 0.115. So it's a little tight, but I wanted to make it where it wouldn't wiggle. And once you've got these two joints, this is really easy and kind of fun to make. I measured my opening, and really that wood's going to butt up there. So I actually had it out in the shop, and I used calipers, but we're at 0.3 long. Now you've got to remember that your wood is going to be in here, which is 0.25. So let's do that. Let's draw a piece of wood in here, and let's make it 0.125. That's your thickness of your plywood. Getting your pick tool, you can have it snap to that. Now let's measure what our opening is. It is 0.17. When I measured it out in the shop, I believe it was 0.18. But that's the thickness of the wood. So once you've got that, all you need to do is make your peg that. So to make the peg, I started out with a block that was, I think, 0.75 long, 3/4 of an inch. And I made it all the way to 20 inches, or 0.20, because that 0.2, that made it a little bit thicker than my hole. Okay, then I just add a little flare to it, basically, with this rounded deal, and it would be so you could be able to pull it out someday. So I just made a round circle and just put it. That's actually too big, but let's make it a little bit smaller and put it like right there. Now we know that this is slightly bigger than our opening, so we want to take our shape tool. We need to convert this to a curve. And now we can take our shape tool, and let's just taper this down. Okay, now we know that this is taller, but why not make it a little bit more steep like that. So now we've got a good arc, and let's just take what was our opening, 1.7. So we'll go 0.17, and you can see it's going to start in the opening, but about right in there, it's going to run out of room. So I'd rather it be right in here. So for the video, we're going to do it. We're going to make this a little bit less. Take our shape tool, move this down just a hair, and you could actually have it down to there. So it's about midways, it's going to catch that plywood and bind it. Then just take your drawing of your deal, take your virtual segment delete key, delete these lines you don't need, and like everything else I use the Smart Fill tool to fill it in. Move that out of the way, left click, right click, and now you have, it's a little bit different than the first one I drew, but it would work. I think I'm gonna maybe share both these, and you can see I've got less of an angle on this second one, so it's gonna stick through a little bit further, which wouldn't be a bad thing, because you can see my example that I made, it could go a little bit further through. Now, probably the most important part of this video is how to cut out these little bitty pieces of wood without them falling through your vector grid. And what I do, and I have a video that shows that, I made a pretty large wooden box with 1-inch sides on it, and then I can take my piece of plywood and lay it on there, and then use this area for cutting, and it'll fall into my box. That's one of my videos, I think, on inlaying with mother of pearl, because the mother of pearl was so thin and fragile, it would fall through the vector grid, I couldn't get it back out. Anyway, I am going to share this file on Epilog's Facebook page as a 3x3, so more people can use it. I'm going to save this right here, so you got 2 joints, and hopefully you can take it from there or learn how to draw your own. Anyway, hope that helped a little bit, and thank you for watching.